Hi YouTube. So my last video I posted was of my 6 DPO. I really had to test because I had a dream. So I'm just here to kind of tell you what happened, seeing as that was a month ago now. I'm actually 6 DPO of my next cycle right now. Don't think I'm pregnant. Kind of didn't really try. My last cycle, after 6 DPO, it came back negative. And then I tested at 9 DPO and it did come back positive. Faint, but 9 DPO usually does. And then tested for the next couple days, stayed about the same. And then about, I think, 2 or 3 days after that, it was negative. So I think I had a chemical pregnancy. It was a little bit of a roller coaster because after I got the negative, I figured, okay, it's a chemical, nothing really to do, nothing to update with. So it's kind of just, I don't know, I didn't want to go through that. So I deleted everything, and then I was 3 days late, and it was just weird because whenever I do an induced cycle, which is letrozole, which I did, I'm always on time. I'm actually usually a day early for my period, so 3 days late, I figured something was up. So I took another test and it was positive again, but once again very faint. So I called my doctor and let them know kind of what was going on, let them know my history of miscarriages, and so they sent me for blood work. But because of all the changes with COVID, I actually ended up going to the place I normally go to, and when I got there, the fax hadn't gone through. Of course, I had to go to work, so then I had to wait until the next day, and then they sent it, and then I went, and the lineup was so long that it was over 2 hours wait. I couldn't wait. So I just figured, okay, well, it's not going to change anything anyway, so I waited till the next day. When I went in the next day, they had implemented that if your doctor was not in that building, you could not get your blood work done there. So that was a very, very emotional day, and I was very upset. I almost took it to the news because it was ridiculous that I had had my blood work sent there 2 days prior, and they would not take me. They had my paperwork, but they did not call me to tell me, hey, I know we got your paperwork, but you cannot get your blood work done here, so you should probably come pick up your paperwork and go somewhere else. No, they just refused me at the door. So obviously I needed to get my paperwork. They let me come in just inside the door while they went to get my paperwork and refused me otherwise. So I did end up going across town to another place. Luckily they hadn't opened yet, and there wasn't too long of a lineup, so I was able to get my blood work done there, but I did end up being late for work. As if I hadn't been turned away at the other place, I wouldn't have been. I probably would have been early. So that was very, very emotional. I was very upset. Obviously my hormones were going a little crazy. So did my blood work. 2 days later, did my blood work again. Went to that same place that I went to the second place. They were actually really good there, and I'll probably go there from now on. It's the same distance but in a different direction, so my work's kind of in between, so either way it doesn't make a difference for how long it takes to get there, so it's not that big of a deal. So then the next day I hadn't heard back from my doctor yet after I got the second set of blood work, so I contacted them and they said unfortunately both my draws were 0. So I kind of figured it was just a little odd that my hormones were fluctuating, that I get a positive, then a negative, then a positive, and then a negative. So that was a little odd. because of the fluctuation, I just wanted to make sure that I was not having an ectopic. But the fact that my levels went back down to 0 at least cleared me and said, yes, you're fine, you can try again. So we didn't actually try this month. We didn't avoid either, but I wasn't tracking. So I just looked on my log there and said this is about when I should have ovulated. And so I'm now currently 60 PO from when I should have ovulated, but I didn't track. So we'll see. I'm not going to put any hope into it because I decided I was pretty emotional after that. So I wanted to, I just wanted a break for a month and give my body some time to recoup, because I mean, even though it wasn't a carried pregnancy, it was a chemical, happened before my body would have even noticed, I still wanted to give it a break. So that's what I decided to do. And yeah, so I mean, when I took the test the day of, like 3 days past my expected period, and I got the positive, it was really odd because it actually looked pretty strong on the strip, but not, but still faint. So I actually had a digital, and I was like, ooh, let's take a digital, and it said not pregnant. So I knew that something was up, but it was just odd the way that I'll actually insert a picture. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. This is miscarriage number 5. But I mean, at least I'm heading in a direction, even if it's not the right direction at this point. I am getting pregnant. I went a whole year, like since the start of my journey. I've had 4 other miscarriages, and they'll happen in a very short amount of time, and it's been over a year since the last time I got pregnant. So at least I know that something's maybe kind of cluing in and doing what it needs to do again. So we'll see. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you later.